Hi everybody, my name is Renato Quintero, also known as REIQ. You guys know this already. And today I'm gonna be doing this video that I said I was gonna do a few days ago, weeks ago maybe. And first I would like to thank you all for posting all the artwork you have been posting on the Discord channel. It has been a consistent stream of artwork. I know some of you will be going through some art bumps. Other ones are really excited and doing a lot of work and posting a lot of work. And so I decided to do a little bit of feedback because I see a lot of progress. And I want to start with Neil Sentaro. And he drew this, I think, Rosalina. And I really like the piece overall. It's pretty nice. Yeah, it's really I like overall. It's pretty cool. It has like a reminds me a little bit of some of the G Girl artwork that I have done. But if I'm gonna go straight to critiques, I will say there's a few things that I think it could be like improved. Something that is bothering me is a little bit is the arms. I think the arms, you can play with the arms a little bit better, a little bit more. Because I'm noticing not only with this piece but many of the other pieces that I'm gonna be correcting, something that is very common that I see that is that we are cropping the limbs, we're cropping things in the page, and that unfortunately brings a lot of attention to that. Even though the main drawing is here and the face is pretty big and breast and everything is fine, I think the arms are like a little bit distracting because they're not pointing to anything or a direction, or there is not like a pose or anything for the arms. Obviously there's a pose or there's a structure for the body and everything, but the arms, you could play it like a little bit more. Maybe you can put like behind her, or you can put her like, you know, try to include the arms inside the picture if you can. No, you can have like a gesture like that, or just find something to do with the arms, because I feel like if it's cropped it feels strange. As I think as humans we don't like to see an arm with a hand. It feels strange, right? So you can have like an arm resting here in the hips, right? You can have something like that. Or like, what is the reason why she's having that face like that, Or maybe you can have one hand on top of her breast, I think that will be more, it will match better the text, right? You want to smash, so basically you could have something like that, right? You can have the arms on top of her breast, and then it will bring more focus, and the drawing will be more in the center. So that will be something that I will do for this piece. Overall, I think that can help. Just, I know it's hard to draw hands and everything, but get some reference and get some photos that are something like similar to what you have, and then try to draw the hands and the arms and inside the frame. So this is something that I like. I like the drawing. I like the rendering that you have done here, and everything is fine. But that will be my first critique of it. Obviously, there are more things that could be rendered more or work more. But at this point, I think considering what is happening in the frame and inside the illustration, that will be my main concern. And then you can work more on the rendering side. If it's for the rendering, I will try to keep it, if you're going to have like a rim light that is going from one side, try to keep it consistent. If you're going to have like one light coming from here, try to keep the consistent also with the parts of her body and the arm and everything. You are doing it, but like if this area is really bright, I guess the hair should be also bright, right? A little bit like from this side. So if you're gonna do that, then try to keep it more realistic there. Like, make sure all the planes are being hit by that light. And if you're gonna use the same from the other side, this like strong rim light. I actually would suggest you try to not use two rim lights at the same time, because I think like if you have too many, it will start like bringing attention to more areas of your picture. You want to like make focus that people focus on the main area, right? You can also reduce a little bit the highlights. Actually, the smaller sometimes the highlight, the better, because it makes it like more intense. Yeah, that would be my main concern. I will watch out for the nose here. You know, make sure the nose goes along here. You did it here, but I think it's a little bit off. Maybe just a little bit more subtle and less, you know, like less contrasty, you know. So that's nice. And yeah, and I think that's the thing I will say right now, is when you do your illustration, try to focus a little bit on the overall composition of all the arms and arrangements. And I know if this could be something hard to do, then try to like tackle it, you know. Don't try to hide it, and try to get them like, you know, try to do it, because it actually can complement your piece a lot, you know. It can make it more like obvious that you want to, you know, smash, and you know, that's the smash you want. And also you could, like I sometimes do, you can take this breast and you can transform a little bit. I think it could be a little bit bigger, and you can do like this, right? So it's like in a bigger size for her compared to the head, no? I think the head is pretty big. So if the head is pretty big, the breast, even though they look big, they will end up looking smaller because the head is too big. So you can either reduce the size of the head or increase the size of the breast and the body. And for last, I will try to, you know, make the belly button just a little bit more subtle, just a little bit, because it seems like she's being sucked in there. It's like a, you know, just like a little bit of a line there will help, right? And that's it. I think you can keep going, keep practicing, and keep uploading more of the work. If you're gonna have some shadow cast from the hair to the face, try to keep it here also, you know, like make sure that it actually feels that the hair is on top of her face, right? So that's it. That will be my advice for this piece. So keep going, keep working, and now let's move to the next one. Now I'm gonna work with this illustration by Ian Watkins. This was a present for my birthday with my character Candela, and I really like this one. And I'm gonna point the things that I like the most when I saw it. Is that I like how we have here a different tone than the legs, you know. So it actually gives that feeling that this is the legs and has a different lighting than the rest of the body, right? So as for critics, I will say, although I really like the picture overall, it's pretty nice. Like I have like little complaints. I will say that you can increase the size of the hair here and increase that roundness of the head a little bit more. Let me see, copy paste, right? I think you can add a little bit more of space for her head to exist there, right? Something like that. Obviously, no, the coloring is gonna, you have to fix that, but I feel something like this will be more like natural, right? Because if we draw the head, the whole skull should be like around there. So that means actually it should be more, right? Like a little bit more like this, right? So it's something that is very common and it happens a lot, is that like we tend to draw the skull a little bit smaller than it should be, and then the hair suffers. And also notice the size of the horn. I think this matched better the other one. uh, but it's just nitpicking at this point, you know. I'm just nitpicking overall. I like the overall rendering. It's pretty cool. I really like this illustration. I will say for the hips area, you could make it a little bit smaller, or like shape it in a better way. Like if I have a line that goes from here to here, I think it's a little bit off. I will probably use a line that comes from here and maybe like this. That will be a little bit more natural, right? The line is right. The way this drawing is right. It just maybe a little bit more in. I know the point is to make it look like she has like a big butt, but maybe you want to like give it more rounded, like this, right? Can be more rounded than the way it is now, because I like how it will flow like this, right? So I'll say that's one of the things I will fix there. Probably the neck area could use a little bit more work. Some lines are really strong, and if it's a female character, you want to have like more subtle neck. So maybe you want to have some of the hair coming to the front, and you want to have throat a little bit more shaped in there. Also the collarbone here, and you need to, this is the shoulder area, right? So when you do these illustrations, try to think about that, the bony area that is here, and how everything connects to it, you know, something like that. So I will probably have she has a very long neck, which is okay, I don't mind, but just to make sure that everything is flowing and everything has the right connection there. I'll probably get rid of this line for the neck, because the neck, when you get the neck and you get this line, is because she's turning the head to one side. If you do that, if you turn your head to the right or left, you will notice that muscle will pop, and that's why you get that line there. So maybe use a little bit more subtle and lighter. That will help too. Also the shadow, you can do something like this. That will help as well. You can add a little bit of a highlight here in between the breast. I think that will look pretty cool. Maybe a little bit more subtle, but I'm just pointing out. Love the cupcake. I love this. It's pretty good. This is well done. I like it. The nose, it just nitpicking here, because I think when you get a really good, nice illustration, then it goes to the level you have to start picking things, be more picky and be more demanding, right? You should have that noise a little bit like up there, and that should work, right? Overall, I really like all the demons here. They're so cool, and I like the tiny butt he has. Got it. Wink, 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 wink. So that was pretty cool. And so thank you very much for the present. I really like the tone, and I really like the face. It's a little more, it has more structure, so it feels like a different version of the character, which I like that. I like to see that, right? So yeah, one last thing I will say, try to find some reference from when the legs are in this position. You might want to have, I think the bump goes this way, and this goes this way, the other way around. And here you should have more shadow shape, more shadow, more shading, right? But that will be better with some reference. Reference will help you. Like, I usually look at reference even when I'm drawing. I'm like, oh, maybe I need to look at a reference just to double check and confirm that what I'm doing is right, you know? Sometimes you like draw something from imagination. It's like, oh, actually it could be better if I do it this way, if you use the reference, right? So yeah, that's what I have so far. So thank you very much for your present. I really like it. It was pretty awesome, and it's already like almost a month since that point. but I'm still receiving artwork, which is dope, and I really appreciate it. So I hope this has helped you. All right, so let's go to the next one. The next one is gonna be done by AFLM, right? Okay, so what do we have here? I don't know if this character is your character or it looks more like I think it's more like an original character. I like the work that you did with the feet, the hands, the pose is pretty cool, dynamic, everything is pretty nice. Yeah, I like what you did overall. The character has some personality. So this is a very ambitious piece to do, especially because of the overlapping of legs and everything. Let's see what I see here. Probably what I noticed the most is the torso, how the torso is being built. It's hard, especially when you have elements overlapping, like I said. It can get really tricky. So you need to actually probably construct this a little bit better. Regardless of the anatomy or the muscles of the character, it's good to create that rib cage and make sure that the center line is flowing. That will help you to place better parts of the body in the right position, right place. It can get a little bit tricky once you have like a guitar or anything. So probably you want to draw these first, and then later you add the guitar, so then you have everything matched and everything is like matched properly. I don't know if this is a female character. Yeah, it's a female character. So then you have the breast, and then you have this. Let me light this up a little bit more. And then you have the arms. This is all right. I think you did a pretty good job overall. It's just the torso. It's kind of bothering me a little bit because in the original one we can see that the structure is a little bit strange. Like your center line is here, and then you have the rib cage, and the rib cage is like this is what happened. So you need to build it a little bit before, because otherwise you have a very dynamic drawing, but the torso is really flat. So you kind lose some of the magic that you want to do with the perspective and with the overlapping of things, right? So if you have a better construction of your torso, then you can obviously later on add more like anatomy, more muscles, and change it to the character, because I feel that this character is more like sling and more, I'll say feet, thinner, long, tall character. So that would be what I would suggest. So do a lot of torso like boxes with the center line. The center line is super important, so you can actually connect everything in the piece. Everything will be, where is the center. If you're gonna add a breast, you know where to add the other one. The neck, what is the middle of the neck, right? The belly button, the zipper of the pants. So many things are like landing on those points in the center line. So we want that. We want those points there, and to have a good structure, no? And again, if you have some reference, it will be nice. But you have those, center line will help you with this overall gesture and overall anatomy. The face is good. I like it. I could use some work on his or her face. I think can be it's a little bit deaf to me. I think you can move the eyes to one side, right? You can move the eye to one side to make it look like I don't give a fuck about life. I don't know, have like an attitude, Maybe that's what you want. I'm not sure. Maybe the character has some specific things that are like that. So you can basically come here and, you know, have a little bit of a frown here, like I'm not completely happy, or like a little bit serious about my music, you know. Or like, what are you looking at, kind of expression. Right? Also, this could help too. Maybe something like this could help the character to have a nice, like a, you know, punk rock expression. Like, yeah, like I say, what are you looking at? Are you looking for some problems, some troubles, right? Also, if you want, you can hide the other eye. I think it's better to hide the other eye, because you're gonna have to just make sure that this is, it can get tricky, you know, because you only have a little bit of the eye, and then unless you draw the eye completely and then you add it later on. Because what I see is that your eyes are different. Like this eye here is different than this eye. Feels like a little bit off. Right? So we want to have that. Maybe we want to have some of the hair go a little bit on top of the clothes, on top of the neck, and the rest of the character, so we know like the hair is in front of it. And this is nice. You did a nice job with the head, no? With the overall head of the character. It has like enough space, which is pretty good. Alright? Can add something like that there. Maybe a little bit more of like makeup, you know, or like dark. Something like that. I think it will bring a little bit more of a character, more of expression to it, to what you're doing, no? Because the character already has a lot of personality, has a lot of like flavor to it. You just need a little bit more push on that expression to make the whole thing more solid. So yeah, that will be my feedback for this one. Keep drawing, keep practicing. I know these pieces can take a lot of time, and you are doing the whole thing, coloring and everything. So congratulations for that, and keep going. I want to see more of this artwork on the Discord. All right, let's go to this one here. I think it's Dark Money 1. Yeah, Dark Money 1. And you have a bow set, a very chunky bow set. And I like this artwork. I like it. I like the proportions are pretty nice. But I'm gonna have my feedback for the things I see first, and that can be a little bit better if you change a few parts of the drawing. I'll say that you need a better connection between this. You need like a better gesture for the drawing. Like if I go here and I add the center line that I was talking in the previous. I feel like even though she's really thick, it will benefit a lot if you have a better construction here on the torso. Like things are a little bit weird torso wise, you know. The structure is a little bit off. So you need to build that, to create that, to construct it. And then the arm should be more in the inside. Okay? Neck, arm. Yeah, especially the torso needs a little bit more work, especially how it should like flow from here like this. That should be like the flow of that torso. Okay, so we also, what I thought about it, even though I have the structure that I just made, something that was, I feel like, well, it can be changed a little bit like easier if we just move some of these to the front like this. But it's getting kind of weird, you know. It's just about balancing it, balancing the character. Also, like this this stuff is kind of heavy, right? It's kind of pretty heavy. So I guess to me, what it feels weird is like because of her hand posture, and it makes it look like it's made of paper, because it's pretty flat. It's more like, it feels like the hand behind is flat like this. And what we want, maybe, well, what we want, or what I feel it will work better, is to have the hand like in a different position, like kind of like showing that this is like her little baby, you know? That is more like showing what is there, you know? And then it will be a little bit more cute because she's like both sets, so she's kicking ass. She should be kicking ass. Therefore, like all the other elements of the game should like obey what she says, you know. So it feels more like it's there, and then he could be like blushing or something like that, right? That's kind of what we wanted. So we want to have the hand carefully like touching it. The head, the face, and everything, I like it. I like it. You did a great job here, and it is about working a little bit more using center lines and all that. But it works. Probably the crown, instead of like this, should be like this, you know. Pretty nice. Maybe you want to have the ear showing a little bit more, so it feels a little bit more three-dimensional. And the braids are good. Maybe a little bit more weight below, like this. You know, maybe more. Like maybe like what we had there before. But yeah, the main situation here is the torso, and this is a very hard torso to do, but you can find references for that online. There's a lot of like models doing poses like this for like, I don't know, Sport Illustrated, and a lot of photos. I can find a reference pretty quickly for that, you know. And the rest is just making those tights like big, but as long as it's in the right position and the structure is there, you can go crazy. You can make this stuff like super chunky, right? But you have to make sure that everything is connected. Connection, torso, rib cage, and then the breast, and then the hand and all that. But it's pretty cute. I like it, and it's just that, right? It will help a lot if you build a little bit more of that. And maybe maybe the butt is too much, but as I say, like, I don't know, maybe you like a lot of like big fat ass. Sorry, big fat buttons. Alright, something like that could help. And then you have the tail. Make sure the tail feels a little bit more three-dimensional. So try to draw like a tube, right? Try to draw like a tube. Like, try to make sections that are more like cylindrical, so you know, like it feels more three-dimensional. Also with the spikes, put in the right place, and the hands and everything. So it's good to make these drawings, your ideas, and then try to find reference that could help enhance what you have already, because it's hard to come up with all that, especially with the torso area. It's very hard because it's turning, right? It's turning, it's coming from here and it's turning this way, and then the legs are turning this way, so you need to have that flow, torso, and then legs and butt. But overall, I think I like it a lot. Maybe you don't need all this space of the artwork, like all of that. Maybe you can crop this in, you know, maybe you can crop it, you know, like this or something like that. I don't know, just me. But overall, good work. Keep going. Can't wait to see what you do next. And I can't wait to see what you post on the Discord. So let's move to the next one. Alright, so let's continue with ZOROJURO. Okay, ZOROJURO. I really like this. It's pretty nice. Actually, I really like a lot all the work that you did here on this piece. Lighting, the composition is pretty dope. Like the effects, like of glowing, the swords and everything that you have there. I think works pretty well. Yeah, I like the whole thing. It's pretty nice. Like nice. I can see you put a lot of work and effort to make it look really nice. If I have to give feedback to this piece, is that probably like but that's just my opinion. Don't take it too seriously. Is that I would probably do better if I don't have this hand on the picture. If I don't get this hand here, and if I take that away, you know, and then have the character kind of like here, and then you can have this a little bit more dynamic, because I think you had this in a way that is like more, you know, you want it to be this like as dynamic as possible, so you can have something that goes like that way from here and open, no, a little bit, and you can probably, I would have done something different. I could have done the sword coming this way and then going like this, so all the sparkles will be more like here in the center, so you know, you get like a tension of like the battle, because it's right now it's here in the very bottom, so it's like all the action that is taking there is like in that small part of the picture, you know, so probably you want to have that sparkle things going like here, you know, just so it feels like the drawing is like dividing this in half, no? So I feel like that way it will work better, so you can make all the sparkling effects really pretty cool, and you make the sword pretty nice. You can even use the sword and make this like really bright, right? You might want to have this like more bright because of the moon, and you can have like a glow from that, right? You can have like a glow from the sword, and yeah, that will be the one of my points of feedback. I will say that you need to practice a little bit more hands. I know it seems like it's a little bit difficult, but try to like practice more hand drawings, and because I can see the structure is fine, but the rendering it might need like a little bit more of work, you know. Also, this hand here is a little bit weak. You want to actually draw a little bit more of the structure and make sure that the fingers are divided, you know. You have to divide and section the fingers, so you know what part belongs to which part. Same here, right? You want to section this, and usually the side of the hand here from the palm is more straight, so you might want to have that, let's say something like this, right? So we have 1 cylinder, 2 cylinder, 3 cylinder, 1, 2, 3. So it's about having the same proportions and having the gesture too. Probably this I would have done something like this, or like, well, it's not that bad, but this is, you know, and then use the palm of the hand and the lines inside of the palm to create that nice, you know, maybe a line will come in the wrist, and then you have the other side, so we know what are we looking at, right? So maybe a hand like this could work better for the drawing, you know. Probably I will do it more like this, but yeah, like probably find more reference for when you're drawing the hands, because you have a great drawing here, but I feel the hands are throwing the things off. This is a nice hand. Try to probably have this finger here. Try to turn it like inward, like a little bit like this, right? But when you close the hand, the fingers tend to go to the center of the center of the palm of the hand, and then it will look a little bit more natural, right? If you do that, yeah, and do the cylinders for your finger. Cylinder. Make sure you are doing the cylinders, so you know where are the sections and where you need to bend the fingers, right? Now you know how to bend the fingers, and then you have a better structure. This is nice what you did here, pretty good, pretty nice. Maybe a little bit more thin because the wrist would like to, you need to have, she's more delicate, right? So maybe a little bit more delicate like lines there, so that could work on there. Love what you did with the eyes, with everything there. I probably will make this nose like less strong. I think there's like a lot of contrast here, and you might want to have like use a little bit of shade, and make it a little bit lighter. It doesn't have to be that dark, use like a suggestion that the nose is there, right? Also here you might want to like make this a little bit more soft, right? Make it a little more soft, and you might want to, maybe you want to bring this more to the center, and yeah, it's a little bit of, be more thoughtful with your lines, especially when the lines are inside of the face, inside the skin, inside here, it's not on the outside. You can be a little bit more gentle with those lines, so it feels like the character is more like feminine and all that. Don't forget some of the highlights that could help the drawing, a little bit of highlights, mouth, maybe a little bit more fuller, but that's up to you. So this is great overall. I really like it. Same with here with the nose. Maybe you want to have a little bit of a less contrasty shadow for that, right? So it feels a little bit more subtle. And also don't forget the highlights. It helps to sell that structure that you have. So yeah, like so far these are my corrections for this piece. I think you did an amazing job. Like this is a really amazing job, and just more like picking and trying to like help you make the artwork more refined and more cool. You did a amazing job. Another thing you should try to avoid, if possible, when doing folds, is to create the same thickness for the folds. You might want to have something more like something that goes like this, right? And then you have a bump, and then you have another one. Maybe you have a little bit of another fold there, coming this way. Same with this, The rest is nice. I like the rest, but this is like 1, 2, 3. It's like it makes it a little bit flat, so you might want to have a little bit more of like a nice, more like flowy fabric, right? Like this, Maybe a little bit of shade here, so we know that that's the back of the character. Apart from that, amazing work you did with the sword, with everything. So it's pretty cool. I like it. Approved. I like it. Pretty nice job. Maybe you wanna have that highlight from the back of the moon. Like being very subtle here, so you can see the whole thing. And also here, if the moon is touching and the light is coming this way, maybe you want to have a little bit of a light. Maybe not so bright, maybe a little bit yellowish, so it feels like that moon is beaming some kind of light, right? So it will integrate both characters, but it's up to you. That part is up to you. And maybe the sword, you want that this will be on the top, in the front, right? Because she has the arm like that, but maybe like in the front will be nicer. But apart from that, amazing work, man. Amazing work. Really like it. You just gotta keep going. You see the difference when I say it's not like a crazy difference, but it's just like makes things a little bit more, nicer there. Also, I think you might want to use maybe a little bit of a lighter blue, like for the background. I know it's like a moon, it's during the night, but you can always trick a little bit the eye, and you can make the character pop a little bit more if you use like a soft brush. Then you get some blue, maybe a lighter blue, just a little bit, and then you just like have a little bit here and here, just a little bit, so the character's silhouette reads a little bit better. Even here, right? Something like that. So when you do this, then you have the character. It reads a little bit more the silhouette of the characters. But apart from that, amazing job. Keep going. And yeah, thank you for posting all of this. I hope this is helpful. I can't wait to see the next pieces that you're gonna be doing for us, and for the Discord, and for everything. Okay? So thank you very much. All right, let's go with the next piece. That one is going to be. I'm gonna use this one. This is a more. It's a little bit different from the other pieces I've been correcting. First, good job, especially trying to get a character that is kind of complicated as this one. There's a lot of details, a lot of structure there, a lot of design that you have been putting onto this. My advice to you when you're working on a design like this is to try to break down this into a more simple shapes to understand, because if you have these like so many parts, so much information, so maybe you want to like break that down into a simple shape, right? Simple shape, another simple shape, you know, so you kind of know what is the shape of what you're drawing, and then on top of that you can add more detail, but you kind of have to like break down this in a more simple like silhouette or like simple shapes, you know. Maybe it's just a belt, but the belt has a design, but what kind of design is that, right? And you might want to like this, you have a shape, right? You have this shape here. So I will start with the base shape first, and then I will add more elements to it. Because the good thing is that if you have a shape that you are like, and then you can later use, you can copy and paste the same structure that you have for the shapes that you like, and then you can come up with like different designs. Maybe in one design you have a horn or two horns, or maybe you have like you have here like a demon with some design with a horn, or with a nose, or with a tongue. So you can design on top of that shape. You know, it gives you the freedom, especially if it's like digital. I think this is digital, not sure, but if it's digital, then it could work. You can try to design this shape, and then maybe try to put it like in a profile way, like you're trying to do here, and try to see how far is that shape. But try to make it as simple as possible with some boxes, like used to know the proportion, the belt, how thick it's gonna be, like where is these pieces are coming from, right? So you have to like design that first, and then you can start adding more pieces to it, because it can get really busy, and then when you have to redraw this, you might not want to redraw this again, because it's a lot of work, it's a lot of details to keep in mind. So maybe you want to like, you know, make it more simple. Maybe you want to like make a few teeth instead of like a bunch, right? Maybe you want to have this, maybe in one eye has that design there that you did, the eye is there, and then you have the helmet that could be like this, right? Something like that. I'm not sure right now, but like you can design a little bit better this in a very more simplistic way. So I think it has a lot of details, especially all of these horn. Maybe you just want to have like a design like this, you know. You can divide in 3. So it's about simplifying, and then once you have the simple shape, work a little bit more. Same as this, you know, you want to have like the overall shape like this, and then you can break it into like smaller ones. Because then later you can always add more detail and break this into more pieces. But if you have this main shape, as I said before, solved, it will be easy. Especially for like a character design like this that has so many things. That'll be hard. Also try to use a center line through the character. to make sure that things are aligned there, right, in the middle. Especially if it's a 3/4 view, then you know like where all the elements are gonna be placed in perspective, right? Perspective and 3-dimensionality, right? So that would be my feedback on this. Try to make it a little bit more simple, or just have fun designing then. But just to let you know, like, you know, that's a better way to do it. Like, make it simple and then add more things with variations. You know, you can just, as I said, you can just draw the base of this, and then you can like copy paste that, and then work on a variation with some horns. So you can try different ideas with the same basic shape, right? Maybe you want the eyes to be a little bit more like evil, like, you know, like something, I don't know, like more like comic book like, or you can make it like really crazy, like zombie, like, you know. So it's up to you, but you know, I try to keep the main shapes, so you can divide these like that, or find some reference for something that you feel like it could work. You can find some armor references that will help you. But yeah, try to keep it simple. That's why they're doing animation, try things to keep simple, because when you do this drawing on the side, this part is gonna be super hard, and I'm sure that you struggle trying to figure out how this piece will look like, you know, or what is the eye shapes, you know, and also the skull. So you have to design the skull first, and then you can add the rest of the elements that you want on top of it, you know, and that will help you to design and have more fun and more variations. But keep it going, man. I like that you're working on the different designs and you're trying your ideas and everything, so don't get discouraged. But that will be my advice. Make it more simple and break it down into simple shapes, like a basic robot, you know. They divide the robot like this, and with the, you know, basic shapes, super basic shapes, and then maybe later you can use like bigger parts of the robot, and maybe you can add some spikes. But you have to have that structure first, so you know how to dress that structure with a lot of details that you have that are pretty cool, but it can get like really complicated later on. Okay, so that will be my advice. Hope you keep working hard, my friend Agito. Okay, all right, so let's continue with Coyly, or Coyly. And nice work, my friend. Good job there. Okay. Good. I think I like this, but I feel like we're missing something. I feel we're missing something like feet, right? We're like missing a little bit of that. We need to get some of that, right? So I know it can happen plenty that you're like working and you're drawing onto something and you realize you're out of page and you haven't done the whole figure, you haven't completed the whole figure, and that can, you know, make your work not complete. But my recommendation is my advice is that when you have a page and you're gonna draw on that page, try to mark on the page to set a boundary, so you know you're not gonna be passing that. So you're gonna try to do the sketch. When you draw your sketch, try to draw it in inside the space. You know, inside that space, you try to add all the legs and everything. If you need to make something smaller, you do something smaller because it might be too big. So it also helps you to keep a little bit the proportions because you're working inside that area. And once you have the sketch, you know, like you will have all the pieces of your drawing together, and that will, you know, solve the problem, solve that situation. I sometimes myself, I do the sketch and then I forget that at the top of the page I have all the rings, that ring that for the sketchbook, and then I draw but very close to the top because I still feel that I have this space of paper but when I cut it I have to trim it, and sometimes I have like a trim like that. So I should be myself also doing that more often. So it's a note for myself. And I had a tip for you. Nice work working on everything on this. I think it looks great. You have a nice like gesture, like nice posture there with the character. It will help more if you have the legs, you know, it feels like more completed. And I will kind of be a little bit careful when how you draw the jaw. Try not to get the mouth too close to the jaw there, and you know, keep it like, make sure that you have some jaw and then the tongue and everything. You can make this a little bit longer, right? I think it will look better maybe like a smile or something, right? Make that like a smile. Watch out for these. Maybe you wanna have it like here, you know, and maybe highlights for the eye there. I think that will help. I think the tone, I think it's too much. It's out too much. So try to like bring it up here, and then fill this with a little bit darker red, like that. So now it feels that the tone is coming out from the mouth and not hanging from the mouth, right? Don't forget to add the eyelashes also, the other side of the eye, you know, to make the character complete, because you have it here. So don't forget the other side. And yeah, that would be my advice on that, especially because the drawing was cutting. I like the combination of colors and everything. So keep practicing and try to use reference for your poses if you can. That will help you. I feel like the neck could do some work. Let's do like a quick redraw this, right? So I think like the head is good, everything has a good size and everything. The neck should come from here, and then don't forget the shoulders. Shoulders should be like that. Actually, the torso proportions are well done. Nice job there. And the arm, you wanna have the elbow a little bit more like that, like sharp. Like you already did it here, so try to bring it that to here. The ears fine, and tie the hair to use a little bit of flow, you know, to the side instead of like just down. So those will be my advices, and keep practicing and try to get the whole body so you get a better sense of proportions. And can't wait to see more of your drawings. Okay, and I'll probably give you more feedback on all the drawings like later on, because you have a lot of drawings you have been posting, so stay tuned for that. Thank you. And the next one is gonna be this fairy. That fairy belongs to is here in my list, to N-Cube 3D. N-Cube 3D. Yeah, I like this. Nice work there. Let's see. There are things that like could be better, like adding a little bit of like, you know, well, the navel there, right? And then don't forget the center line. It's good to have that center line so you know where's the center of the body. Also will help you like finding the clavicle. The neck is good, but maybe you want to have like a line that goes like this because of the muscles, and that might be a little more complicated. I think the coloring is okay, maybe too soft and kind of like too blurred. try to get some more defined shadow shapes for this. You know, it's good that the body is smooth and everything, but you need a little bit of shadows to create a, you know, the illusion that is a more three-dimensional figure. Okay. Also, you forgot the eyebrows. Should be green, right? So that works well there. Yeah, probably you need more practices with the hands and add the nails. Don't forget nails is important, so we have a better sense of where the nails are pointing at. Shadow is very important for here. You know, you create that sensation that actually there's some shadow cast by the hands, right? Same as this here between the fingers. It helps. Also some shadows in the on her rib cage here. It will help as well to sell the illusion that she is casting some shadow or something on her torso. Watch out for this area. This line just doesn't work well because it's like you're doing this line and it goes that way, and you have to kind of correct that. It should go more like, you can go straight here, you know, straight, a little bit more straight, and try to like get that then. For the breast, I will suggest not use a black line like this. Let's try to use a little bit of a darker skin tone, you know, to help to sell it. And also the center line is important because if you have your center line, you won't have this situation happening because, you know, the breast will have to be on this side, you know, and on this side. So center line is very important, my friend. For everything, it's good to have a center line to know where are you placing everything. So yes, to do more rendering, a little bit more rendering with your coloring, just like that. And yeah, I think it's a little bit too blurred. I think the skin is kind of too much blur. And actually, if I seen the whole drawing like this, I will probably try to make this a little bit more thinner. I think it's kind of like too thick for the rib cage. We need to have that shape, that curve for the whole body to look a little bit more appealing and sexy, right? Just like that. It looks better, right, already, just by having that, correcting that area over there. Don't forget the nails, as I said. You can even use some green and paint that, you know, feels more in character, just like that. So yeah, you can even use a little bit more color because you know, this is a butterfly, so why don't we use a little bit more of like a yellow or something to decorate. Look at some references and try to get some ideas. Maybe a little bit of red could work with some, you know, maybe something like this with something, you know, try to bring other colors because they, like, especially butterflies have like so many different designs, so you can bring that. And yeah, also for the nose and the mouth, try not to use dark lines. Try to use a little bit more like skin tone, so that it doesn't feel that heavy, you know. You try to have like you try to have the thickness, a certain thickness from the outline where the lines are inside. Try to make it more like thinner, more, you know, subtle, because it looks more feminine if you do that. You know, it feels more subtle, more like delicate, and you want that to be there. Okay, so yeah, also some shadow here for the ear. You want to have some shadow there because we know now what's going on with the ear. Maybe you want to add some highlights with another blue green color, right? Just to make the whole thing a little more pretty. This, okay. Maybe a little bit more of eyelashes too. Something like that. I mean, it could be better, but I just like giving you the idea of the changes that you can do, so you can like make it a little bit more, you know, can make it a little bit more better. I like personally adding a little bit of highlights. You don't have to, but you can always add a little bit to make it a little bit more realistic, but you know, not going super realistic. Yeah, that's it, man. Keep practicing in Cube 3D. I can't wait to see more drawings from you, as I said to everybody. So I hope to see more of that on the channel. Let's go now with Storm Rider. I picked this one from you. It's nice. This is traditional, so yeah, let's see what I can I say for this one. Let me analyze a little bit. It looks pretty good. I like it. Just use some notes that I thought about. Was try, you know, as I said to the previous artist, try to make your, you know, set some restrictions here for the page, so you don't have elements going and cutting off at the edge of the page, because it looks weird and doesn't look as professional, you know, because you're missing a tiny chunk. It can be a little bit uncomfortable, you know. It would be nice to see the whole thing. And as for inking and everything, I like what I see. Maybe try not to use so many different markers, because then you're gonna have these lines going like this, because of the marker start like leaking more. So maybe you want to use this tone, and then maybe add like a second one, very subtle, because if you can blend this, it will be better. I'm not sure how these markers are working for you. I don't use these. Maybe the paper has too much texture, so it will like suck some of the ink of the marker and it will spread, and that's what's happening. The brush and the ink is spreading through the paper, to the texture of the paper, and creating that kind of edge. I will say try to, when you do the inking, I don't know what is your process of this, try to go very light, and then try to go with like you're doing here, like light lines, right? But try to be a little bit more specific with those lines. What do we want to mean with that? Because I see like some random lines like here, you know. It's not like a crazy thing that you have to fix or anything, but I think being a little bit more, taking your time to do the lines, it will help you. I know it's kind of hard, especially this paper. I think I can see the ink being sucked by the paper. So you might need like a marker papers, a paper that is more smooth, that won't suck your ink of the markers, because also the markers are expensive, right? So this is looking good. Maybe a little bit of an anatomy here that can be improved. You know, like I feel like some of this anatomy could be improved. The neck, don't forget to maybe like make it a little bit more darker. Make sure that the neckline comes from the back of the ear, like properly here. You know, it's about, yeah, being delicate. The more you do of these ones, the better, because you're actually going through the struggle of making the lines and everything work inside a page. But also, it's not only skills, but also maybe the materials, maybe the paper, as I said before, is not the right one. When you do this line for the hair, try to make the lines go through the character like this, right? You have the hair, and you want to have the hair flowing like that. I know it's hard, but this is a good way, you know, to keep track, because the human eye will connect the rest. But if it's a little bit off, we will know. Okay, I will tell you it's kind of like a little bit off, right? Maybe you want to have the hair keep going this way, right? Just like this, so you have a nice silhouette of the character. You have a nice silhouette. It looks pretty nice, and Yeah, probably work more on your anatomy for the drawings. The breast could be a little bit better if you just, you know, get this and then copy, transform, and warp, and then you like make that a little bit more rounded, right? I think that can work like that. Yeah, because you have a nice shape here, but the other shape is a little bit too rounded. Maybe just like a little bit. Maybe you don't need to bring this line, this black line, all the way up here. Maybe just bring in the black line all the way here, and then some shade on top of that. Make it look a little bit better. And don't forget to shade inside here the ear. Make it all consistent. Work on the expression. It's looking good, but always use a little bit more of work. Don't forget your center line, especially for the face. If you do the center line, you will see that the jaw is here, and it should be more like in the center line. So it's always good to have that center line to know where you're gonna draw that jaw and where you're gonna change direction with your pencil. You know, now it feels like a little bit more solid, right? Be a little bit more solid also with the nose, and also here. You know, doesn't need too much work. But yeah, you're doing good, man. Just keep drawing them, work on your line, and keep practicing. You're going in the good way. You're taking the time, you're coloring, and you're making them all complete. So, good job, man. Good job. And I see you have posted more drawings, so I'm probably gonna correct some of those later on. Okay? So, keep working hard, my friends. See ya. Next one is from Mr. I know your name. Just let me double check because I'm pretty sure. Just want to make sure that I'm going on. Yeah, Sailor Seal. So Sailor Seal Gary. Man, I like this. These are great. You always have like a sense of humor and kind of like storytelling with your characters, which is cool. Let's say, what can I say to you this time? I think it looks pretty good, man. Like, I could probably, I don't know, let me try this. I would probably like to make this character a little bit smaller, you know? So it feels like he's in the front, this character is in the back. Right? So it feels more like overlapping. It feels more like this character is behind. But that's just me. That's just me, and just like trying to test things, because then you can have all the explosion coming here from the back. Right? You can have that explosion, fire coming from behind. Try to probably like not to make all of this with orange, because you might lose some of the silhouette. You know, I know there's a fire behind, but maybe, you know, keep this like color of like orangey, a little bit more lighter, you know. It will help to read the character. Yeah, I don't have that many things to say for Peter, but you see what I mean? Like, having it here behind feels like, you know, you will see what you think about that. Maybe, you know, maybe you want to have this character here move it a little bit further too, you know, because it could feel like this character is like a hat or something, and it's more about make the characters read properly in the page. You know, you're gonna have that, like, erase that, add some kind of like orange color, right? And then you have your character here with this and with that, and then some yellow, and then now we know like this character, you know, is more easier to read. Let's see, so we put this together. You see, it's kind of hard to read. Now it's a little bit more easier to read what's happening now. If you want to have a little more of overlapping and more perspective and everything, you can try to copy this and make it a little bit bigger, right? So it feels like it's going forward. And same for this boot here, you can make it a little bit smaller. So it feels like it's walking. Maybe have the coat, this fabric going in front, right? So it feels like he's walking away. You can add some shadow there too, you know, if he has a shadow. You can also make a nice overlapping here with this. You know, you can have like a nice overlapping with the fabric and everything, so it feels like it's going forward, right? So that's good. That's good. That's one of the things I like about this is that. Also, if you're gonna add some seams to the suit, try to add the seam as you did, but also try to continue that seam throughout the costume. You did it, but you forgot here, and yeah, that would be my take on this. Yeah, it's just like more like a arrangement of elements to make it a little bit more appealing and easy to read and more, you know, like consistent with the rest of the drawing painting that you're doing, right? And maybe you want to have, because it's like explosion fire, maybe you want to have a little bit of yellow, you know, stronger yellow like around the edge. Let me see, make it a little bit more intense, you know, around the edge of the characters, you know. So you make that, you know, it feels like the back is really like bright, and maybe you can add some parts of explosion coming, like, you know, maybe a little bit more of like some evil energy eye coming from the eyes. Same here, where you want to have like, you can add a new layer. Let me merge this. You can merge these and then create a new layer, soft brush, and then overlay maybe. Let's see what happens, and add a little bit of energy there. Maybe overlay, no, maybe color touch could work. You know, something more like, make this more like same here with his eyes, maybe like a little bit yellow, right? I'm gonna try a little bit more of that. Then with the mouth, goes all the way, and the explosion too. You know, so now you have a nice composition there. You can bring the explosion all the way down there. Yeah, I just feel like you might need that. Yeah, right? So you're gonna take some of this explosion and, oops, wrong layer, use some of these, right? Now it feels like the character, the fire is behind the character. Just like that. Some orange, some yellow, right? And yeah, something like that. I'm not sure about this here. I would probably don't do that. Use myself. You can create a nice like shadow shape or something like that. That this dude is like walking forward, or something like that. I don't know. And the lettering is fine. I just took it away because it was easier for me to manipulate the illustration. So yeah, something like this could work, right? We have that, and then let's merge these. So we see the before and after, you know, there's more interest on the main characters, and you can have all the text later on, like you did here. Text is fine, just put it like around here, and you know. But yeah, man, keep drawing, keep practicing, and yeah, I like their character designs are funny and cool, so they have their flavor. Let's go for the last of the illustrations I'm gonna be correcting for this batch, and it's gonna be this. Definitely, I will say, yeah, good job, man. You're drawing, you're doing your drawings, you're working on it. I'm not sure if this is done with a pose of something, or like if you use a reference for it. I will say that if you're drawing this way, I will probably try to do the same drawing a couple of times, so you get a feeling of it. I don't know, I think you should use a little bit more of reference, so you know what you're drawing. Drawing from imagination can be hard, especially if you are starting to draw, because if you don't have that mileage, or you haven't studied more the human anatomy and all of that, it becomes really hard to create something from imagination. So get some reference. What I would say is that the torso could be like this a little bit. I think the torso should be like from here, right? And the legs. Think about the legs as cylinders. I always explain that. I always point that. Try to think about cylinders. Try to think about shapes that are more like cylinders. Like, that's why I ask like people who are like starting to draw. I always tell them just to draw some cylinders in perspective, and try to practice those a lot, because that becomes a limb, that becomes a leg, that becomes something else. You know, you draw like a ellipse, a cylinder, and then you add a sphere, and then you add another cylinder, and here you have a hand, right? You have some kind of structure. On top of that, you can put the anatomy and the rest that you need. So I will do a lot of drawings with reference, and try to observe and try to draw them a couple of times. For the face, I will do more studies for the face. Try to, if it's like a female figure should have more of a rounded, soft features, like maybe like this will help you, you know, because it has like a jaw. It looks more like masculine, and we want to have a little bit, unless the character is like that, I don't know. And the nose, try to have a little bit of the nose from the side, and just by doing that, it looks a little bit better, I feel like. Don't forget some eyelashes, right here, you know. Maybe just me, because I feel the nose is too wide, you know. So, but this is just practicing and noticing and understanding and getting used to draw this. I have done so many drawings of faces, or to get over my mistakes. But you're doing good. You're putting the time, you're drawing, and you're doing it. So I encourage you to keep going, use your reference, and yeah, draw a lot of cubes. Do a lot of cubes and cylinders, and try to make some studies of objects. Like right now I have like a boba tea in front of me, so I could draw, you know, the boba tea. Try to get that. Actually, I made a mistake. It's more like this, right? It should be like more wide. So it helps you with your observation skills. And then the boba tea here, and the straw, you know, just like that. And then maybe the label, and then next to it I have like a mouse, but the mouse should be like more like this, right? And it has a center line, and there's a wire that goes along the way, and then next to it I have a bubble gum like container. It has some bubble gum there, you know. I think like I probably could have done this more wider, bigger. So you start observing like things around, and how can you draw them and think about the three-dimensional aspect of it. If it's like a cylinder, shape like a cylinder, you know, try to draw the whole cylinder shape. And yeah, practice that, practice on cubes. It's just a lot of like, you know, getting to use to do this, to draw this with a little bit of perspective and all that. But yeah, keep working, keep doing your drawings, have fun. That's the most important thing. Keep drawing, having fun, do studies of these, and do a lot, do more, because I think, like, you know, you have a good eye here and you can make this work. It just requires more time and dedication, and you know, just observing. But you know, it looks a little bit more feminine, no? The feminine and more like a little bit like nicer, right? You have this, and then the face, right? Especially the eyelashes helps a lot. All right, so that's it, my friends. I have done some reviews of your drawings. As I said to everybody, I hope I can see some more drawings on the Discord server, and I'm looking forward to see more of your drawings, illustrations, and practices. And also thank you for giving feedback to each other. Sometimes I'm not there all the time, although I do see the drawings, and I see more people interacting with each other, helping to each other. So that's a really cool thing to have. So thank you if you give feedback and you press like to like or add an emote to each other, so you support each other when you're like drawing. I think that's something that creates a community and encourages to keep drawing, no? Just like as you like to receive some feedback and receive some emotes or something like a like, give some of that to the other person who are also drawing and trying to get better as well as you. So keep going. Thank you for as well for being my Patreon, for supporting me, for supporting the tutorials, the videos, all the shenanigans I'm doing all the time. And I'll see you next time. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. So thank you very much, and see you next time. Bye.